Everyone good with that?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Okay. And sorry, I'm also working from home with my significant other. Some know him as the Canadian, and so you might hear him in on the background as well on calls. But this is life. This is our new normal. I see a comment there. People cannot see anything on the screen. I'm wondering if that is. I don't know what.
I don't know how to.
They can hear it, huh? I wonder if that's
an app.
Yeah.
Or it's.
Yeah, it's some people saying that they can't view it on their cell phone. I'm not sure who that was, but
sometimes if you hop off and hop back on again, it corrects itself.
Good. That's a good tip. Okay, thank you.
I went on and off, but it still didn't work for me. I'll send you a picture of what I see. Like, it's just a black screen.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Try to use your finger to scroll.
Okay. Yeah, it's not doing anything.
Press the 3 buttons.
I did log on through my email.
Okay, I believe you. Press the 3 buttons and see what options come up, and maybe that
It says put me on hold, share, raise hand, dial pad, or turn off incoming video.
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, it's not a huge problem if you can't see the screen. The information is really what's big, and we'll save the video, and then we'll also send the deck out after, so you'll be able to see all the slides. But really, what you want is the meat of this is what Robert and I will be discussing with you. Okay. And feel free at the end to ask any questions. Go ahead and everyone just go ahead and mute your mics right now if you don't mind. And you can stay on video, but if it starts to get choppy, try going off screen because that can sometimes help. And I think Mercury is in retrograde, if any of you believe in that. Tina, I know you're a believer now, but it will it will definitely help with the how fast everything is. Or how clear you might see things or how the connection is. So I'm going to get to it. Thank you so much, Robert, for being my partner in crime on this first ever social call.
Thank you.
I know. Yeah. I know there is so much to catch up on with our beauty advisors, what their lives look like, so many rearrangements, and with this new social media world. And I want to give a shout out to Miss Virginia Campos, who contacted me about, doing a call like this for her counter managers specifically. And then I just extended it to the rest of the country because it's just a good idea to get everyone involved in this, because this is really the new normal that we're walking into. And if you felt or feel anything like me when I first started doing quarantine and realizing that social media is going to be a really big part within our careers, you might feel a little confused or lost as well, because it is just, they write these handbooks, but they're all on YouTube, and that's not how we usually do it at Lancome. We usually have like some procedure we go through, and we really want to make sure you feel as empowered as possible as counter managers and beauty advisors. This call really is for you. So feel free to ask the questions that you need at the end, and we are going to go through these topics and try and steer you the right way so you can feel like you can run a business in a really comprehensive way, not just in store, but through digital as well. Every month we're going to do these calls. I'm going to probably put one more call in between next month for our Macy's group, specifically because they have a really great program at Macy's that you probably know. Yeah, you probably know a little bit about. But stay tuned for that. I want to probably do that in a couple of weeks so you guys can get up and running with that. But for everyone else, it's going to be monthly and different categories, and we'll send you an invite with that, and you're free to invite whoever you want to this call as well. So yeah. All right. So with that said, I want to take you through the agenda today. And I will be going through, sorry, I'm like toggling between my monitor and my computer. I'm going to be taking you through Instagram static posts and what that broken down overall theme of your Instagram page, the image selection, how you want to do that, and image editing, which is something that people do, but they don't really train or talk about. And then Robert is going to take you through his expertise on going live socially. He's going to tell you some tips and how to. And then also something that's so important, and I think the most important, but that's mastering your connection. And then we'll have some time for questions, and I'll go over the contest that we have going on. All right. So with Instagram static posts, what a static post is, it's usually including one picture showcasing the product you're advertising, and the product is typically tagged in the image and the post caption. Clear enough, we all have seen them, we know what they are. But before you post, there are some things to do. You want to consider your overall page theme. Your page aesthetics are super important, and you want to ask yourself some questions like, will this post contribute to your overall aesthetic of the page? You will want to spend some time thinking about what your aesthetic of the page is. Obviously, we're talking about Lancome pages, so the aesthetic is going to be Lancome, right? But you still have your individual aesthetics that you can add to that. It needs to have the resounding theme of Lancome, but it really can resemble your demographic and your consumer. So that's an exciting thing, because if you're creative like Robert or I, then you're going to really like this part of it. And the best place to find your inspiration for a Lancome dedicated page, like your counter page, would be first Lancome, and then second, the retailer that you work at. It's much easier to align yourself with the companies that you work with and work for, rather than going against the grain, right? And then you want to ask yourself, am I linking the post that I'm doing now to a series of posts? We've all seen these kind of series that happen in like 2s or 3s. And
You're on mute, Caroline. We can't hear
Thank
you.
you.
There we go.
Thank you. I don't know how that happened, man.
Welcome to the world of modern technology.
There's a ghost. And where was I? Okay, so linking your post to a series of posts, you want to really consider this. And does it make sense for your business goals? And is this aligned to the overall climate of what is happening? So we've all heard the word tone deaf. You want to stay connected to your audience, and what is your audience going through? What are they thinking about? Are you posting something that is probably not the best thing to post at whatever time you're posting it? Make sure it makes sense to your total audience. And then when you are posting your individual posts, and I'll go into this further when I get there, but for static posting, hold on one second.
You're on mute again. Oh, there you go.
I know I was yelling at my significant other to turn the volume down, but didn't work. My gosh. So sorry. You get to listen to his like very corporate calls in the background. So for static posts, does it inspire or is it informed? And it's okay for it to be both, but if it's not one or the other, question yourself if you should be posting it. Because if it's a post that's, you know, like just posting to post, that's not necessarily what's going to inspire or get people to want to follow you, I guess. And it's an obvious, but does it reflect Lancome? And what I mean by some of this is sometimes we end up projecting our personal opinions versus a Lancome belief. For example, shimmer shadow. It's like, I believe shimmer shadow is for people that are under 40 years old. But at Lancome, we don't believe that. It's not within our DNA. So it's posting a picture that's like, make sure under 40 people you can wear shimmer, but over you cannot. We want to stay inclusive within our posts. And what does inclusive mean at Lancome? I hear that it's echoing a little bit. I'm so sorry.
I can hear you very
Okay.
clearly. And so it may be just some of the connections.
Got it.
You know,
Okay.
can I add to the does it reflect Lancome? You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of different guidelines too, because you know we've all talked, especially in makeup artistry, we've talked about mixology, for example, and we would say, oh, take your lipstick and mix it with the oil and put it on your cheeks or your eyelid. So just think about too, who's going to see the posts? Does that reflect the brand and the Lancome? You know, can we tell a client, yes, you can put lipstick on your eyes? Probably not a good idea. So just think of that when you're putting it in a post or in print. A little different than talking to your friends, than putting it out there on social media. So just kind of think on those lines as well.
It's a really good call out. It's a completely different field when you're talking about your own personal page. What we are guiding you in now is your work page. And yes, you can use some of these tips for sure within your own personal page as well. But when you have Lancome attached to your page, you definitely want to be representing the brand and how to use the products in the way that is advised. And you still want to stay connected to your audience. I put this in both parts on the page theme and posting, because page theme is really gearing yourself towards future followers. So that's why you want to connect to your audience, but posting is connecting to everybody. And does it connect to your audience, or are you just doing it to get followers or purchases? Because if it is something that like is you want to get followers or purchases, then just say that. Like, don't say don't be, I guess, subliminal in that way, because people know when you're trying to sell something. Just like in person, you're going to be just as genuine with someone in person as you should be online. And so if you're trying to inform or if you're trying to inspire online, then stick to that. And if you get a sale from them, then that's great. If you want to post that you have a great deal going on, then post that great deal and show all the amazing things and go in that route. So people want to be sold to. It's not going away from that, but you definitely want to be very clear on what your intentions are so people can feel like they trust you in that way. Let's let's talk about a little bit more on the page aesthetic. So this is a page from Macy's that I grabbed the other day. And you can see their overall theme is very clear. It's within wellness and like taking care of yourself. And this was the Macy's page. It wasn't the beauty page, but it does have that lipstick up at the top left, which I think is a little funny because not everyone is like we're all dying to wear red lipstick out, but like who's wearing red lipstick under your mask? I mean, all like props to you if you are wearing red lipstick underneath your mask. I am like so impressed, but I'm not. But a page theme, the goal is to impress potential future followers with your feed. And that is something I had touched on earlier, where it's really not about your friends and family at this point. It's about people who are going to be following you in future. And that's who you want to really impress and inspire, because 80% of Instagram users follow a business. Instagram users are not new to looking up information on Instagram. We are okay with following businesses, and you are as well as an Instagram user. We like it. We want to see what they have, but we also want to feel connected to them. And how you do that is very important. The way that you do it is consistency within your aesthetic. You want to have a clear bio, and you want to stick with the same theme when it comes to filters or editing. And in makeup, you definitely want to keep that at a minimum. You don't want to over filter or over edit. You want it to be a little bit more natural, because you want to show what's actually there so people can see, obviously. But still, you want to stick within those same editing guidelines that you use. If you have all warm photos and then you stick one cool and then do a couple warm and then one cool, it's not creating a aesthetically yes, the harmony, that's a better word. And then also don't be afraid to try something new. So you know what, if you've done all warm photos and you now want to go into only cool photos for a while, then do that, but figure out what's right for you. Okay, so going into the static post, the simple mechanisms of liking and commenting provide great and fun feedback. I love that quote, because it talks about having a great time and it tells you what's going on. 50% of Instagram users do product research on social media. That's awesome for our case. This makes it fun for us. We get to make things a lot easier in our worlds. Rather than wait for people to walk into our doors, we can give them the information online, because they're going to look there. And 30% of users have bought something that they saw on Instagram. I'm sure that that's probably an old statistic too, because now people are buying things all the time through Instagram by what they see on their friends' pages or whatnot. So it's really what you want to do is engage with your clients as much as possible, but in a way that they don't feel like they have to commit to you in one way or another. Don't put homework in their laps, I guess. And they really want to see your faces. So don't just only put product up there. They really want to see who you are. You are now the face of their Lancome. And I am using Lisa Eldridge as an example because people love Lisa. She is wonderful. Robert, you've worked with her. Like, you could go on and on about how wonderful and brilliant Lisa is. And her followers are very clear about how they want to see her in the posts that she does. When she posts, she is stunning, Amy, you're right. When she posts a picture of herself, she gets basically twice as many likes as any other editorial photo she posts of someone else. It's really interesting. But if you go to her page, you'll be like, oh my gosh, all of her pictures of her are really liked. And people want to see the face. So that's really important that you show what your world is like. And I'm going to give you a few tips on how to do that because I know it can feel a little bit of pressure to have to put your photo up online. And I'm not saying you have to do it right away, but you really do want to take into consideration, or if you are more hesitant, get a little bit more comfortable doing it. I know that it sounds funny, but it was something that I had to get a lot more comfortable at doing, and just accepting that, you know, my picture is going to be up a little bit more than I thought it would be. And now I'm fine with it. But I want to teach you some tips on getting a really good shot. And the first thing is for every one post that you do, you probably want to do at least 30 to 40 test shots. So that is doing a lot of different shots out there. And that's normal. I probably do more than 40 for every post just because I want a variety to choose from. And sometimes you don't realize, like, you get different angles wrong and you don't see it in the moment. You want to make sure you angle products that you're shooting down. So you don't want to catch the reflection of whatever product you're showing with like the light or anything. So angling it down is a great way. And also being authentic in your expression. And I'll show you what I mean with my examples here. You see this first one, picture of my almost like shocked look, which is, it's a, you know, fine picture, whatever. But can you see that the reflection of the ring light is in that photo? You can see it really clearly, and it's a little distracting. And it kind of looks weird. Like you can see that weird part in my mouth. Like, I don't know if like the general population wants to know like what my dentist sees, you know? And then like my face, it doesn't necessarily look happy. It looks a little scared. So I don't know if I'm putting the right message out there to about this huge mascara, right? And this one is much more aesthetically pleasing because you see that my hands, oh, also, that was another thing, is my hands in the first one, it looked like I'm clawing at the mascara and fighting with it. Whereas the next one, my hands are gentle, my mouth is not as disturbing, and the reflection in the Adol lash box is gone because I tilted it downwards. So this is why you have to do a bunch of different test shots in order to get the right shot. And as we go, I'll give you some more tips and tricks on like setting yourself up for success with these shots. But these are some main ones that you really want to look for. Robert, do you have any other comments that you want to make when it comes to photos and how you angle yourself, or your tips on that?
Well, I mean, to the same point, it's like find your angles. Somebody said that in the chat. I love that. Find your angels or angles.
Yeah.
But the product is definitely in the center of the picture. And it's in the first picture I saw, we talked about it yesterday. I saw a lot more cleavage, the mascara.
Right.
And now this one, it's very, very clean and concise, and you know exactly what you're supposed to be looking at. Plus, when you actually post this and you know things are edited down or fit to frame, that mascara in the first one may not fit the full frame, but in the second one, it will fit in that frame.
That's right. That's right.
So I take a ton of pictures before I find the right one. Even with yourself, even with yourself, when you're doing, you know, you're getting ready to go live, which we'll talk about here in a minute, but you know what you look like. I can't always see that my brow is off until I take a picture,
right.
And then I see, oh my gosh, my brow is way off.
Yeah, I used to.
Till I see the picture of it. I can't see
You're
myself.
so right. I used to say in my training classes all the time, pull your camera out on your phone and see what you can't see. Because that's really how I learned how to take pictures or edit pictures as well, is I used to just work alongside with a bunch of photographers and watch them how they edited. And that's, really, it's a very tedious work that they have to do. But if you kind of take out some of the steps that that they're going to have to go through, then you can get a really great shot just with an iPhone and some good lighting. So we are going to, I know some of you might have some questions, but we are going to go into the live portion with you, Robert. And I know we're going to run a little over, but we started about 10 minutes late. So bear with us for this first time. And I'll hand it over to you, Robert.
Perfect. So going live is not comfortable for a lot of people. And I'm just going to give you a little story. Those of you that don't know, I'm one of the brand representatives for HSN, the Home Shopping Network. And I did not want to go on HSN almost 12 years ago, and they made me do it. Like literally, I did not want to go. And because I like to be behind the scenes, and it was very uncomfortable. So those of you that do not like to go live, I get it. I'm there. I was
That is
there.
so funny, Robert. Everyone's like in disbelief too.
But there's a couple things to help get over that. First of all, you've got to be yourself. You got to be real with everyone you're talking to. So if you're nervous, put yourself out there. It's okay to be real. It's okay to laugh at yourself. It's okay to, oh my gosh, this is my first live. I'm nervous about this. If you're nervous about it, talk to your people. That's what they want to see. They want to see the human being attached to the camera. When you talk to your people out there, they're the only one in the room. And that's really where the connection comes in, is if you are that authentic self, what you see is what you get. My motto is, if it ain't fun, I ain't doing it. So literally, if it's not fun, I'm just not going to do it. So your client or your audience is really wanting that connection with you via your live. A couple things to help you get to that point, though. When you are getting ready to go live, I want you to think of a couple things. Be clear and concise. Have an agenda of what exactly you want to talk about. For example, if you said, hey, let's do a foundation, we're going to do a foundation live. So we're going to talk about Renogy Lift, Hunting Ultra, Dual Finish, correcting, and concealing.
Oh my God, you're killing me right now. You're stressing me out with all that.
That's 7 hours.
Yeah.
So instead, talk about one. You can compare and contrast maybe, but if questions come up, but be very clear on your agenda on what you want to talk about. So maybe you want to talk about foundation and how to match, or maybe you want to talk about just Tontidol. That's fine, or what you can do with it, or tips and tricks. But base it on one, maybe two products. If you get too many products in there, it's just overwhelming and you lose your audience. So really think about 15 to 30 minutes long for a live is really all you want. You want to keep your audience engaged. Tease and countdown, that's really important. And it's put notes on your calendar, whatever it makes you remember to put things on the calendar to remind your audience that you're coming up live in 2 days, tomorrow, in an hour, whatever your tease is. There's some good practices behind that, because a lot of times your clients don't know, or your audience doesn't know that you're coming on live. And if it is your first, you want everybody to be there for it, right?
Yeah. And Robert, with that, how many times should people be going live? Like, is that twice a day, twice a week, twice a month?
It depends. Like for gift with purchase, maybe you have a live in the afternoon and maybe in the evening. Find your time, what's best for you, and you can look in all the, your metrics on Facebook and Instagram to find, when those best times are as you develop your routine. But it just depends. If you're in gift with purchase, I would say, go on twice a day. Maybe not every day, but pick a day in the week, and then maybe go on once in the morning, once in the afternoon, so that you get a much wider audience. West Coast, I'm in the Central and East Coast, totally different time zones. And I have to think of that when I'm doing a live, because if I do, you know, a noon um, live, West Coast is 10 a.m. So there may not be a lot of people on. So just think of all those things when you're thinking about going live. Be very clear and concise on what you're going to talk about, what the message is. Put out there the ask questions in advance so that they can get involved, and it's easier for you to connect with your client when you have a question that you're helping to answer. Have your agenda figured out, what you're going to talk about. And the other thing is practice. Go on, make a video, talk about it, get your angles right, get your lighting right. Be prepared to go live when it's time. After you've done your practice run through and you know what you're going to do, be prepared with all your products that you need. Think of questions that might come up. When I use, let's say, for example, Tintidol foundation. Oh, when I put it on, it's heavy, it gets cracked around my eyes. What's a solution for that? Maybe you grab your Genifique Eyelight Pro. Maybe you grab a little eye cream. Have a couple extra little things so you can show those fixes. Clients want to know that you're not just a brand commercial. You want to talk to the brand, but also be real. So, and I'll give you an example. Idol mascara. Love this. Lash Idol is an amazing mascara. But the first thing I'm telling people is, because the reviews in some places are up and down and all over the place. So I'm real with it and say, this is not a normal mascara. This is a completely different, you have to slow down with this mascara. Be real with them, because then that connection is so much easier. And then they're getting kind of that
honesty
information too.
Right.
So you build that trust. Does that answer that?
Yeah, I mean, also I think to take into consideration, you always have really good lighting and location, and you make it look like you just live in that type of light and location, but you put a lot of work and effort into finding the right light and clearing out your dining room to like be able to do it.
I just had to set up. On day 2, we had to go live, and at the start of this back in March, and this is
You embraced it.
I have a space that I can do this, but even if it's just a simple ring light, find a blank wall. Think of what's in your background when you're filming your lives. If you're doing a live in a store and your Lancome and your Estee Lauder is right in the background, you're giving them a nice big shout out. Instead, find a clean wall or do it inside the bay, or and make it very concise as to what you're showcasing. Just like your static post, you don't want to post the entire department when you want them to focus on you, because everybody's a little bit visual. When there's something going on, it's like, what's going on over there? And your eyes wander. You want to keep them very focused on what to look at.
Exactly. And then also make sure you save your videos and repost. And there's directions on how to do that. And I can break it down for you and put it in a how-to for you. I could point you in the right direction, but they're all over the place. Just Google how to save your videos on Instagram and repost, and it'll tell you exactly how.
I love it. Okay, so going back to the Be Real. I mean, this happened to Kara and I. We were going live on our Lancome on HSN
my favorite
post of the year. And of course, our modern technology doesn't work. Well, guess what? Laugh at yourself. Have fun with it. It makes good TV when we're on HSN and, something falls from the sky, or I drop a lipstick, or Kara, I remember, was doing the contour sticks when we had those and it broke off on her face. She picks it up and starts coloring with the piece of broken. That's real life. That's good TV. That's what people want to see. If you react like, oh my gosh, and you're destroyed, it doesn't make it so much
Can't
fun.
ruin it.
Or nervous watching. When this happened, Kara could not get connected on the page. We tried everything. So finally, I just put her on my phone and held her up with my phone and was like, I'm holding Kara so she can talk to you too, because we were singing and doing all these things on Lancome HSN. It was really fun. but it was real, and it made for good TV or our live video.
If you haven't seen it, you all should go look it up. It's an amazing example of how they were able to just pull, what they had together and continue to shine as people, but also like do the job that they were sent there to do, and not allowing, the technology piece of it to mess it up. But Robert, I put your quote down there. If it ain't fun, I ain't doing it. And that is why he's the master at mastering connection with the audience, is because he refuses to be involved in a situation that's not going to bring happiness to his life. And so it's a huge testament to who you are.
Thank you. People are lonely out there, guys. People are lonely. They need connection. They want to feel your presence. When you look at that camera, look at the camera and talk to her. Your special tips, your special tricks, your laughter, your smile. Don't be so serious. It's alive.
Right.
It's a Facebook post. Represent the brand. Know what you know. And if you don't know it, don't say it. And if somebody asks a question and you don't know it, say, I don't know that answer.
Mm-hmm.
I will look into it and I will respond.
The honesty is what they want, the transparency. So we don't have a ton of time for Q&A, but I want to get to these questions that are in the chat first, and then we'll go to any other ones that you have. So the lighting, ring lights are great. I just received like professional lighting, if you could get your hands on that. That is, I mean, it's
got mine and I set it up today. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a game changer, but like, that really is ideal. But a ring light is what everybody has been using. It's totally like doable for our projects, and you can produce some really professional content with that.
Here's a tip
and
too. Lights, if you do one in the center and you do two on the sides, because ring lights now are like, you can buy a ring light inexpensively for like $35, $40.
Yeah.
So it's a really easy way to get up and running in a very short amount of time. Your backdrop, you could do it in front of a shower curtain that's clean and white, or something just plain and generic, or like I said, in the store. But ring lights are super easy. They're accessible, and they're fairly inexpensive now too.
You're right. There's also a question saying, I'm starting from Amy, I'm starting a brand new social page and would love some advice on how to grow my following with these new accounts. So I'm going to be doing another one of these calls next month, and I'll send out the agenda or whatever. And I will go through statistics and how to find when your highest views are, or how to find like how your posts are being liked or received by your audience. And so make sure you attend that call, because that's when I'll go into it more. But there's a way for you right now, if you want to find statistics, it's a good way to start. And then also just, staying true to what Robert was saying, like be authentic and be who you are. And then an app that you use to post on both Instagram and Facebook at the same time, or that you can schedule for future posts. You can post on both Instagram and Facebook at the same time through the setting in Instagram. And I'm not sure, I've never scheduled a future post, but there might be a way to do that. I can look into it as well. And then I would love to know when my highest views are. Stay tuned for that call. That's a whole nother statistic call. And if there isn't any other messages for now, this is going to be an ongoing thing, so don't worry. Always email me as well, because I can bring that topic up on the next call, because I'm sure all of these questions are something that everyone else are eager to know. And Robert and I have a contest for you.
Woo-hoo!
It's our Get Social contest.
Speaking of luck,
And so here's the deal. I want you to take the information that you got from either this call or something that you learned from your own research and pick your favorite spring 2021 color and create an inspirational or informative post. That's all I want you to do. That's all it is. You have to tag me, Robert, and Lancome Official, and then use the hashtags Lancome Happy Tips, Happiness Activists, and GSTS 2021. This is the GSTS is the Get Social, the series 2021 tag that I have on there because it's a tag where I could just easily search it and find all the people who post for the contest. But anyone can enter this contest. And if you are the chosen winner, you will receive your very own personal beautiful ring light. And it's not the $30 one that you can find on Amazon, Mr. Robert.
well, just, gotta be real.
Yeah, you're right, though. There are tons of them that you could find.
$500, but,
This is a good ring light, though. And yay, I'm glad you're excited about the contest. And don't worry, I'm going to be sending this contest out. I'm going to be sending the deck out and the recording, so you'll have all of this information. Robert, I want to thank you so much for giving me and them. Yes, thank you for your time. We're so lucky to have you and your expertise.
So good seeing everyone.
There's going to be much more conversation on this, and so make sure you reach out if you have any questions. And I am so excited. Yes, Shannon, I am so excited to see all these posts. I'm so glad you enjoyed your time. All right, I'm sending you off.
Bye.
Thank you, Robert
You're
and Caroline.
welcome.
Be
Thank
safe.
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Most often.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.